Tonight, as darkness gently settles across the world, allow your mind to drift into a softer rhythm. The sounds of the day grow quiet, the pace of thought begins to slow, and something ancient stirs just beneath awareness. You are not here to rush or to strive. You are here to listen, to remember, to feel the quiet presence of the universe as it breathes through everything around you. Above you, beyond the ceiling of clouds and the glow of city lights, a sea of stars stretches endlessly across the night sky. These aren't just distant points of light. They are memories. Each star you see sent its light on a journey that may have begun before your great-grandparents were born. Some of that light has traveled for thousands of years, some for millions. It has moved through empty space, untouched by time or interruption, until it finally reached the surface of your eyes. In this way, the sky is not only a map of the present, but a window into the deep past. As you gaze upward, consider the truth that feels too big to carry sometimes. Everything that exists came from something else. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the oxygen in your lungs all were forged in the hearts of long-dead stars. These stars burned, exploded, scattered their elements across space, and eventually gave birth to new stars, new planets, and life itself. You are not simply looking at the universe. You are made of it. In the quiet of night, this truth can settle more gently. You are a collection of ancient stardust, arranged for a little while in the shape of a person. The atoms in your hand may have once floated through the tail of a comet. The water in your veins may have passed through the roots of trees, rivers, and glaciers that shaped continents. You are not separate from the world. You are a chapter in its story. Time itself begins to soften when seen from this perspective. We often measure our days with schedules and calendars, with clocks and deadlines. But the universe tells time differently. It uses the slow ticking of stars as they age, the rhythm of planets orbiting suns, the quiet creep of glaciers reshaping mountains over millennia. Time, on this scale, is patient. It flows like a river too wide to see across. And yet, you are part of that current. Your life is a small, beautiful moment in that vast stream. Let this idea settle over you like a blanket. You are here. You are part of something unimaginably vast, yet it makes room for you. The same forces that shaped galaxies also shaped your heartbeat. The same laws of motion and energy that guide planets also govern the movement of your lungs as you breathe in and out, slowly, without thinking. You are not lost in the universe. You are held by it. Now, close your eyes if you haven't already. Let your shoulders soften. Let your breathing deepen. Let go of today's noise and worry. Nothing needs to be done. Nothing needs to be solved. Just listen, and let the story continue. The stars above you shine with light older than history. Their presence is quiet but powerful, and their story is your story too. In the next part of our journey, we will follow that starlight as it bends, curves, and dances across space, pulled by the invisible hand of gravity. But for now, rest in the comfort of knowing that you are not separate from the universe. You are its child, wrapped in its silence, carried by its rhythms, and guided by its light. Part 2. Some things cannot be seen, yet their presence is undeniable. Gravity is one of them. You cannot hold it in your hands or catch a glimpse of it passing by, but it is always there, patiently shaping your world. Gravity keeps your feet on the ground, guides the moon around the earth, and keeps planets tethered to their stars. Without a sound, without a flicker of light, gravity moves everything. Imagine floating high above Earth, where the pull of gravity grows faint and the horizon curves away into the darkness of space. From this quiet vantage point, you could watch the oceans bulge slightly beneath the moon's influence. You could see the atmosphere held gently in place, a fragile layer protecting all life below. And farther still, you would see the planets moving along invisible paths, not with chaos, but with an ancient, predictable grace. Gravity curves space, not in the way a piece of paper bends, but in a more subtle, more mysterious way. Einstein once described space-time as a fabric, and mass as the object that warps it. Picture a heavy ball resting on a soft sheet. Smaller balls placed nearby begin to roll toward it, not because they are drawn by some invisible rope, but because the fabric itself slopes inward. Gravity is not a force pulling things together. It is the bending of space itself, telling matter how to move. Every time you drop a stone, or watch a raindrop fall, you are witnessing the Earth's shape bending space. You are living on a world that is curving the very geometry around it, guiding everything with the elegance of a silent conductor. And you, too, bend space in your own tiny way. Every atom with mass contributes to this gentle shaping of reality. The universe responds to your presence, no matter how small. There is something deeply comforting in that idea. The forces that move galaxies also shape your ordinary days. Gravity holds the oceans in place so that they can rise and fall in tides. It makes trees stand upright, gives rivers their direction, and pulls snow from clouds. Without gravity, there would be no mountains, no water, no sky. It is the quiet architect of the world we know. On distant worlds, gravity can be stronger or weaker. Imagine walking on the surface of a planet where each step lifts you effortlessly into the air. Your body would feel lighter, your breath more shallow, your sense of self gently altered. Or consider a world with crushing gravity, where motion is slow and every movement takes effort. Even then, gravity would be your constant companion, guiding your life in unfamiliar ways. And then, there are black holes, the most extreme expressions of gravity, where space bends so sharply that even light cannot escape. These are not monsters, but mysteries. Formed when massive stars collapse, black holes hide their secrets behind a surface called the event horizon. From the outside, they look quiet, cold, and dark. But within, space and time twist in ways we do not yet understand. If you were to drift too close to a black hole, time would change for you. A few minutes might pass from your perspective, while years would slip by for someone watching from far away. This isn't science fiction. It is a real, measured effect of gravity on time. The universe doesn't keep a single, steady clock. Time bends with space. Back here on Earth, these shifts are almost imperceptible, but they still exist. Satellites orbiting the planet must account for differences in time caused by gravity. Without these corrections, GPS systems would lose accuracy. Your phone would point you to the wrong street. In this way, even the theory of relativity has become part of daily life. So tonight, as you lie still and listen, remember that you are part of a world floating in curved space. You are supported by gravity's quiet hand. Every breath you take, every blink, every heartbeat is cradled in a universe that makes room for you. Gravity does not rush. It does not shout. It simply holds everything in place with endless patience. Now, let your body rest a little deeper. Let the pull of gravity remind you that you belong here, not just as a visitor, but as part of the fabric itself. The same laws that govern the orbits of stars also shape the curve of your spine, the weight of your bones, the path of your dreams. And in the next chapter of this journey, we will dive below the surface of our own planet, into the oceans, where gravity meets water and gives birth to tides, to currents, to the ever-moving story of life. Part 3. Beneath the surface of our world lies something vast, ancient, and alive. The ocean is not just a body of water. It is memory. It is rhythm. It is motion that has never stopped, not for a single moment in the last 4 billion years. Close your eyes now and imagine drifting on the surface of the sea. There is no land in sight. Only the endless rising and falling of the water around you, slow and steady, like the breath of a giant. These waves are not chaotic. They are shaped by the moon, drawn upward by the soft tug of gravity, and let down again as the earth turns beneath them. The tides rise and fall like the heartbeat of the planet. The moon is our quiet companion. It circles the earth without sound, keeping its face turned toward us like an old friend. Its pull is gentle, but its influence is deep. Twice each day, it moves the oceans, lifting billions of tons of water into motion. These tides do not rush. They roll across the globe with patience, reshaping coastlines, feeding ecosystems, and whispering through coral reefs. Imagine standing at the edge of the sea as the tide begins to rise. The water reaches just a little farther up the shore with each passing minute. You can't see the moon pulling it, but you can feel the change. Seaweed lifts gently. Shells begin to shift. Birds call out as the rhythm of the water returns once more. Beneath the waves, life is built on these rhythms. Tiny plankton rise and fall in vertical migration, following the light and temperature of the day. Fish and whales travel with the seasons, guided by ancient instincts and ocean currents that cross thousands of miles. Coral reefs pulse with life, exchanging energy with the water as it flows past. The ocean is not just a place. It is a system, a network, a body with a pulse. The water you see now is not new. It has moved through countless lifetimes. It has fallen as rain on ancient forests, frozen into glaciers, and flowed as rivers across dry plains. It has filled the lungs of whales, the cells of fish, and the roots of trees. It is the same water that once cooled volcanic rock, that carved deep valleys, that cradled the first life on Earth. Even within your own body, this water lives on. You are, in many ways, a walking ocean. The blood in your veins is salty, just like seawater. Your cells are bathed in fluid. Your thoughts, your breath, your movement all depend on the presence of water flowing silently within. Let your thoughts drift with that idea. You are not separate from the ocean. You carry its memory. You echo its rhythms. You are made of the same molecules that once moved through clouds, rivers, and ancient seas. When you close your eyes and listen to the sound of your own heartbeat, you are hearing something that began in the deep. Water is the great connector. It moves across borders without passports, across time without aging. It cycles endlessly, falling, flowing, evaporating, returning. It teaches patience. It teaches persistence. It teaches the quiet power of movement that never stops. Somewhere, far beneath the surface, whales sing songs that stretch across oceans. These songs are not random. They have structure. They carry meaning. Each note travels for miles, bending through the layers of salt and silence. Scientists are only beginning to understand what these songs might say, but perhaps they are not meant to be understood. Perhaps they are simply the sound of life acknowledging itself. As you listen now, let your breath slow to the rhythm of the sea. In, out, rise, fall. You are floating, carried by water that has seen continents shift and skies darken with comets. The sea is older than memory, but it remembers everything. It holds the past like a dream, and in it, your place is gentle and certain. In the next part of our journey, we will leave the ocean behind for a moment and walk among the trees. We will explore forests, those quiet green cathedrals where time stretches long and language flows underground. Part 4. Now, step quietly from the shoreline and into the forest. The air changes here. It is cooler, calmer. The wind moves more gently among the leaves, and sunlight filters down in slow patterns, dappled and warm. Trees rise around you, tall and ancient, their roots reaching deep into the earth. Their branches stretch skyward not in haste, but in a slow, deliberate motion that has taken decades, even centuries, to complete. Every forest has its own rhythm. You can hear it if you stand still long enough. The creak of trunks swaying gently in the breeze. The rustle of small animals moving through underbrush. The faint hum of insects. The chirp of distant birds. These are the voices of a living world, not loud or hurried, but always speaking. Trees are not solitary beings. Though they appear still and silent, they live in deep connection. Beneath the ground, through a web of roots and fungal threads, they share messages and nutrients. A tree in distress might send a chemical signal through this network. Another tree, far away, may receive it and respond. It is as if the forest has a nervous system, a quiet intelligence that we are only beginning to understand. In old forests, mother trees anchor this underground network. These are the largest, oldest trees in the area, and they often nourish the younger ones around them. When a sapling is struggling in shade, unable to reach the sunlight, the mother tree may share its own sugars through the roots. This act is not driven by competition, but by balance. The forest thrives not by fighting, but by supporting itself. Breathe in now, and let the forest air fill your lungs. The oxygen it carries was made by these trees, through a simple miracle called photosynthesis. Each leaf, bathed in sunlight, transforms carbon dioxide and water into the energy of life. In return, the tree gives out oxygen, quietly refreshing the air with every breath. This exchange between tree and atmosphere is ancient. It began long before humans walked the earth, long before the first cities or stories, long before language. And yet it continues today, moment by moment, leaf by leaf. You are breathing because trees are breathing, and they are breathing because of the sun. The forest does not hurry. Its time is measured in seasons, in rings of growth hidden beneath bark, in the slow fall of leaves, and the patient waiting of roots during winter. Some trees can live for hundreds, even thousands of years. A seed no larger than a grain of sand may one day become a towering giant, sheltering birds, feeding insects, anchoring soil, and giving shade to generations of life. When storms come, trees bend. When drought arrives, they adapt. Their resilience is not loud. It is steady. Trees do not flee or panic. They endure, and they do so together. Close your eyes again and picture a forest you have known, maybe one from childhood or a quiet park you once visited. Hear the wind in the branches. Feel the earth soft beneath your feet. Let your mind slow to the rhythm of roots growing unseen, of bark thickening, of sap rising. You are not outside this rhythm. You are part of it. Your breath is part of this cycle. Your body carries carbon that once moved through leaves and wood and air. The trees remember you, even if you've forgotten them. They hold your exhalations, your footsteps, your moments of pause. Now imagine that deep underground, a tiny seed has just begun to grow. It will take years before it rises above the soil, decades before it shades the ground. But it begins now, quietly, with trust and time. Let that be your pace, too. No rush. No worry. You are growing, unfolding, becoming, just like the forest. In the next part of our journey, we will go inward, from the roots of trees to the roots of thought. We will explore the human brain, the patterns of memory, and the mystery of consciousness itself. Part 5. Within the quiet chambers of your own mind lives a world as vast and mysterious as the universe itself. You do not need to leave the earth to explore strange frontiers. You carry them within you. Your brain, though no larger than a small melon, contains billions of cells, each pulsing with electricity, each forming connections and patterns that create your experience of being alive. Right now, as you lie still and listen, your brain is processing sound, interpreting meaning, recalling memories, and forming images. But it does all of this without effort. It never asks how. It simply does. Neurons fire. Signals cross synapses. Ideas form like ripples on a pond. And somewhere behind it all, you remain the one who observes. We don't fully understand how the brain gives rise to consciousness. We know the parts that help you speak, remember, move, and dream. But the experience of awareness, the feeling of being here, inside yourself, watching life unfold, that remains a mystery. It is as if the brain creates a window, and you are the one looking through it, wondering where the view ends and you begin. Your thoughts come and go like clouds across the sky. Some are loud and bright, filled with emotion or memory. Others are soft and fleeting. But none of them are you. You are the space in which those thoughts appear. You are not the storm. You are the sky. Consider your memories now, not as fixed snapshots, but as living stories. Every time you recall something, a face, a voice, a smell, your brain doesn't retrieve a file. It rebuilds the moment, piece by piece, using fragments and imagination. Memory is not a recording. It is a recreation, a story you tell yourself, shaped by who you are now, not just who you were then. Even in sleep, your brain remains active. It plays images and sounds, sometimes in patterns we call dreams. It replays your day, sorts your emotions, stores what is useful, and lets the rest fade into silence. Sleep is not the absence of thought. It is the quiet work of the mind, deep beneath the surface. Within your brain, emotions rise and fall like tides. Chemicals shift, signals pulse. And yet, somewhere behind that changing landscape, you remain. Watching, waiting, listening. This presence behind the thoughts is what many call the self. It is not loud. It does not argue or explain. It simply is. Imagine now a single neuron, one of billions. It reaches out with tiny arms, connecting to thousands of others. Each connection is a possibility, a thought, a feeling, a sensation. The brain does not work like a machine. It works like a forest, alive, adapting, growing. Neurons that fire together grow closer. Pathways strengthen with use, with practice, with love. Even your sense of time, your feeling of yesterday and tomorrow, is created here. The brain weaves together events, assigns meaning, and tells you who you are. But sometimes, when all grows quiet, that sense fades. There is no past or future. Only now. Only this breath. Only this moment of stillness. Let that be enough. Let your mind rest. Let your thoughts float by without grasping. You do not need to figure everything out tonight. You do not need to solve any mystery. Just let yourself be. As you listen to these words, your brain is turning sound into meaning. But beneath that process, there is stillness. A part of you that does not rush, that does not analyze, that simply watches. That is where peace lives, not in the answers, but in the space between. In the next part of our journey, we will return to the stars. But this time, we will travel not just to distant suns, but to the heart of light itself. We will follow photons across the darkness and learn why light moves at the speed it does and why it never needs to rest. Part 6. Light is always in motion. It never pauses, never slows. From the moment it begins, it races forward at nearly 300,000 kilometers per second, crossing galaxies, piercing the void, revealing the universe as it travels. But light is not just fast. It is the very reason we can see, know, and understand what lies beyond the darkness. Imagine a single photon, a tiny particle of light, born in the heart of a distant star. That photon may have taken tens of thousands of years to escape the dense interior of its star, bouncing endlessly within it like a traveler lost in fog. But once it bursts free into open space, its journey is nearly instant. It flies in a straight line, untouched by time, until it reaches the eye of a creature on a tiny blue planet. That photon might have traveled for 1,000,000 years to meet you, and yet it arrives without a scratch, as clear and true as the moment it was born. It carries with it a message of heat, of energy, of color. It tells you that a star still shines, or that a galaxy still spins, even though the moment it left may have passed long ago. Light is strange. It behaves like a wave and a particle. It moves in straight lines and curves around massive objects. It can be bent by gravity, slowed by glass, reflected by mirrors, or absorbed by skin. And yet, its speed remains a constant, a universal limit that nothing can exceed. Why does light move at this precise speed? No one truly knows. It is not just a habit of nature. It is a rule, written deep into the structure of space and time. The speed of light is not about light alone. It is about the fabric of the universe. It is the speed at which cause becomes effect, at which now becomes then, at which information can travel from one point to another. If you could ride on a beam of light, strange things would happen. Time would stop. Distance would vanish. From the light's perspective, there would be no journey, no space, no wait. Just emission and arrival, as if everything happened in the same instant. But we are not made of light. We move more slowly, grounded in time, living through the seconds one by one. Still, light surrounds us. It shapes our days, feeds our bodies through the plants we eat, warms our skin, lifts our mood, powers our machines. Even the light you cannot see, like ultraviolet and infrared, is woven into the world. It tells bees where to land, snakes where to strike, satellites where to aim. Light is not just a part of life. It is the thread that binds it all together. When you look at a tree, what you see is not the tree itself, but the light bouncing off its leaves. When you stare at the stars, you are not seeing the present, but the past, the light of events that happened long before humans existed. The farther you look, the older the light becomes. With every glance into the night sky, you are peering into history. And yet, light also travels within you. The impulses in your eyes, the signals in your brain. They are electrical, chemical, and luminous. Your thoughts are shaped by currents of energy, flashes of bioelectric fire. You are made of matter, yes, but you are also shaped by light. Now, let your body rest a little more deeply. Let your eyes grow heavy. There is no need to watch anything now. Just imagine the universe glowing softly in every direction, light tracing the outline of everything that is and everything that was. And as we drift forward, the next step in our journey takes us back to the human story. We'll return to the building blocks of life, to the DNA that writes your story, molecule by molecule, inside every cell. Part 7. DNA, Life's Blueprint, and the story inside every cell. DNA, life's blueprint, and the story inside every cell is one of the great wonders of nature. In this part of our journey, we slow our pace and look inward, beyond the surface of the world, to discover what makes life work, adapt, survive, and feel. We explore not just the mechanisms of biology, but the beauty that hides in the smallest patterns, the instructions that build a tree, the signal that tells a cell to divide, the memory that forms in a sleeping brain. Every living being is a result of these quiet miracles. Let us walk gently into the invisible and listen to its wisdom. Part 8. Extinction, Evolution, and the Resilience of Life. Extinction, evolution, and the resilience of life is one of the great wonders of nature. In this part of our journey, we slow our pace and look inward, beyond the surface of the world, to discover what makes life work, adapt, survive, and feel. We explore not just the mechanisms of biology, but the beauty that hides in the smallest patterns, the instructions that build a tree, the signal that tells a cell to divide, the memory that forms in a sleeping brain. Every living being is a result of these quiet miracles. Let us walk gently into the invisible and listen to its wisdom. Part 9. The Hidden Microcosm, Tiny Worlds Inside You. The hidden microcosm, tiny worlds inside you, is one of the great wonders of nature. In this part of our journey, we slow our pace and look inward, beyond the surface of the world, to discover what makes life work, adapt, survive, and feel. We explore not just the mechanisms of biology, but the beauty that hides in the smallest patterns, the instructions that build a tree, the signal that tells a cell to divide, the memory that forms in a sleeping brain. Every living being is a result of these quiet miracles. Let us walk gently into the invisible and listen to its wisdom. Part 10. Dreams, Sleep, and the Science of the Subconscious Mind. Dreams, sleep, and the science of the subconscious mind is one of the great wonders of nature. In this part of our journey, we slow our pace and look inward, beyond the surface of the world, to discover what makes life work, adapt, survive, and feel. We explore not just the mechanisms of biology, but the beauty that hides in the smallest patterns, the instructions that build a tree, the signal that tells a cell to divide, the memory that forms in a sleeping brain. Every living being is a result of these quiet miracles. Let us walk gently into the invisible and listen to its wisdom. Closing scene. And now, as this journey draws to a close, let your breath be easy, your body still, and your thoughts quiet like the surface of a still lake. You have walked through ancient forests, floated in deep oceans, drifted between stars, and wandered the silent corridors of your own mind. You've remembered that you are not separate from the world, but part of it, formed by its matter, shaped by its forces, moved by its rhythms. The story of the universe is not something you watch from afar. You are in it. You are it. The calcium in your teeth, the iron in your blood, the dreams behind your eyes, all of it began in stars, passed through oceans, whispered through DNA, and came to rest in you. And even now, the story continues. So sleep, if you are ready. Or simply rest in this stillness a little longer. Let wonder carry you. Let science soothe you. Let quiet curiosity wrap gently around your thoughts. And if you'd like to drift through more of these peaceful explorations, we welcome you to stay connected. Subscribe to our channel and let your nights be filled with calm, curiosity, and awe. Until next time, stay curious and let your brain relax and wonder.